Hey folks, it's Dave again, and today I'm going to be playing some tennis. Now, I went back and forth on this. Okay, bad tennis joke. But in all seriousness, we're going to play some six dice tennis today. It is another one of the Roberto Chiavini games, and I'm going to be playing just a couple of quick sets here of the U.S. Open men's singles from 2019, and I'm just going to grab the first two players on the list, Nadal and, if I'm saying his name correctly, Medvedev. I'm not up on Russian tennis players, but we're going to call him Medvedev, and if I'm saying it wrong, I do apologize. First things first, like most quick play games, what you need to do is some sort of a modified offense by using a player's offense or a team offense and modify it with the opponent defense, and that is the case here as well. How this one works is we'll start with Nadal. We'll take the offense. Now read the commas as decimal points. So his offense is 5.9, and we're going to combine it with his opponent's defense of 4.5. That gives us 10.4 over here, as you can see. What you do is you divide that in half and round down. In this case, we don't need to round down. It's a straight 5.2. So as you can see over here on the score sheets, on the modified offense, I've put Nadal in as 5.2, and he will play as 5.2 for the match. Now, Medvedev is a 5.7. You add 3.6 because you're adding Nadal's defense, and that gives you 9.3. Cut that in half and round down, you have 4.6. And as you can see, I put it here. So the math is straightforward. It's just a quick add and cut it in half, and that's what you got for the modified offense. Now, how you play the game is you roll 6 10-sided dice. That gives you a number. You divide that by 10, which is really just moving the decimal point over, and that gives you your final score for the set, and that'll determine who wins the set. Fairly simple, okay? So, there are some options in this game, including fatigue, retirement, kings and queens of the break, which is this number over here with the tiebreaker number. That's the stars here. That's what come into effect for the kings and queens of the break. And also the third die modification. And we will look at the third die modification in our second match over here. All right, so let's get things going here in our basic match. So we got Nadal. He starts with a 5.2, and I have on my iPad that's going to roll the 6-sided dice for me and give me a quick total just to save some time. So I'm going to roll, and the total is 20. Okay, now 20 turns into 2.0 because you divide by 10. So that's basically a 20. So his final score would be 7.2. So that is Nadal's numbers. So Medvedev has to beat that. So let's roll the dice for him. And he's got a 30, which is 3.0, and that would be 7.6, and that would give the Russian the match. Now, you can determine the results as well, so we take a look at the differential. The differential is 0.4, and if we look at our chart, it is a chart that shows you the difference in points, okay? And so in the case of less than 1, it is a tiebreaker. Okay, so Medvedev would win the tiebreaker. And now, I'm not big on tennis, so I could be very wrong on this, but I think the tiebreaker would be 7-6. Okay, so that is the results of this one there, is that Medvedev would win this one 7-6. So he takes that set. So let's go again over here. So we're going to roll again. And, not good score for Nadal. He gets a 21, so that's a 2.1, and that gives us a 7.3. Okay, and now we're going to roll here a 27, and that is going to be, we got a tie. Okay, 7.3, cool. So in the event of a tie, which is what we have here, so the differential it's a 0, it's a tie. So we'll just put 0 here for our differential. We need to roll the dice, and the high total wins. Okay, it's just a straight up roll. So I'm going to roll over here, and it's a tie again, and the bottom wins. So Medvedev wins this one here in the tiebreaker. Again, 7-6. And you can, if you use your imagination for whatever the tiebreaker would be. Okay, but that's how it says it over here. So now let's go over here. So now let's say we rolled a 4.8. Okay, and that gives us a straight up 10. Okay, if my math is correct. And let's just say he only rolled a 20. And that would give him a 6.6. Okay, so now the differential here is 3.4. That is a differential. So the results on 3.4, it's a 6-2 set win for Nadal. So that is the basic mode of that. Is you take your modified score, you roll 6 10-sided dice, you slide the decimal point over, that gives you a final score, and the higher result wins the set. You figure out the differential, and then you get your results. And again, it goes from -1 is a tiebreaker, and then everything from 1.1 up, you can roll dice to figure it out what the set is going to be, okay? Some of them are pretty straightforward. 5.1 or more is going to be a 6-0. 4.1 to 5 is 6-1. You get it. It's on the chart here. So you get the results. And not only do you know who wins, you get the results. So now let's factor in the D3. So what we do on that is we have our chart here, and we roll the dice. Now you can see here each player has a third die roll of 6. Okay? So you roll the 10-sided dice, 1 to 6, I believe it is, and they get this extra dice roll, which is really what you want. Okay, so let's just say they both rolled 6 or less. So then you roll the dice again and look at the chart. So on a 9, oh boy, on a 9, Nadal rolls 4 extra dice. So he's going to win this one, I would imagine. All right, and a 5 is 1 more die than usual. But let's just say he rolled a 3. A 3, you add 0.6 to the score. Okay, just to give you an idea on what the different values are. It's everything from 0 to 9, and the chart will tell you what to do. 0 is no effect. Everything else has some kind of effect. So Nadal gets to roll 4 extra dice on this one, while Medvedev only can add 0.6 to his score. So let's roll here. So he rolls a 54, but we add 4 more dice, and let's just say that turns into a 74. 7.4. And so he's got a 12.6, and I don't think that Medvedev's going to catch him here. So he rolls a 32. Now, what we do now is we add all 3 because he's got his modified offense. He's got the D3 dice roll plus his score. So in this case here, it would be, what, 7.8 and 6, 8.4, if I'm correct. My math could be off, but in any case, it's going to be an easy win for Nadal because he had 4 extra dice on the roll here. So that differential looks like it's going to be 4.2, and a 4.2. If we go back to our chart here, a 4.2, that would be a 6-1 set win for Nadal. So that's kind of how you factor in the D3 dice here. Again, you could factor in the fatigue if you wanted to. After the third set, you roll a dice, and on a 0 to 1, the player suffers fatigue, and he or she can only roll 4 dice instead of 6. So as usual, there's a lot of variables in this game here. So I'm not a big tennis guy, but I enjoyed playing this. I played a couple of sets of Nadal versus Federer. Federer took the first two sets, and then Nadal came back and won the next 3, and it was a lot of fun playing that here. So that's it. So you take you do figure out your scores. Okay, you cut it in half. That's your score. You roll the dice. It gives you a final score. You check the differential, and that is your results for the set. Pretty simple. Pretty fun. I'm Dave. Hope you like this video. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.